And I think to this day, and it's sort of advice I give to everyone, is it really helps to understand what's going on behind the scenes, whether that's with software or anything else you do. I would say don't just be a button pusher. Understand what's happening. When you don't have to understand C++ and code, but you should understand the basic principles of the tools you're using. I still find it extremely helpful.
Yeah, you mentioned Video Copilot earlier, and I think Andrew said something similar where for him, which kind of was the seed for him creating the company, was that he started messing around with expressions, and bit by bit, it's kind of that like what if, and start tweaking. And I think for him, eventually, it's kind of like, okay, now I'll hire a programmer and take it to the next level. But I think a lot of the time, the more that you understand that, every button I'm pressing is literally just calling something in the API, the more that you start thinking, well, what if I did that myself? And that's kind of the bug that makes you go down the rabbit hole and learn more. So I love that. For you too, like looking back at all the films you've made, like what lessons did you learn earlier on that you've carried over through future filmmaking and also into your other work?
That's a tough one. One of the lessons is to work hard enough to develop some sort of intuition and then trust your own instincts, because inevitably at the beginning of your career you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna listen to people who give you advice that might not be the best for what you're trying to do. So you just need to get to a place where you can trust yourself. That definitely happened to me on one or two of my short films. This is where we completely changed the ending just because someone on set was like, I don't buy it, this is never going to work. And now looking back, I was like, no, the original ending was a lot better. That was definitely a big lesson. And then it's all about relationships. Build relationships with great people that you click with, and that gives your work an energy that you just would not get if you just hire people that are not passionate about the work. I've worked with many people multiple times, and it's been a joy every time because I trust them, they trust me. We just had a great time together.
Great. And I got to ask this too, because I think everyone can relate somewhat. Are there any times that you plateau or get stuck, and what's typically your remedy for that? Because I have so many friends who go down the rabbit hole of, I'm going to write a book or I'm going to make a short film, but getting through to the other end, I think is harder than starting.
Yeah, it's the old sort of writer's block question, right? If that ever happens, if your brain is in a sort of looping pattern, step away from it, do something else, whether that's just short term, take a walk, go for a run, or just take a week off. My brain always needs to be engaged in something. So if I'm stuck on one project, I'll just leave it, and I'll get to the next one. Or right now I have like 5 things I'm writing, plus music I'm making, multiple tracks at the same time. So I always have something to go to, and that would be my advice. Just because just stepping away from something for 3 days or 5 days, it makes your brain forget all these patterns that you're in when you think about a problem, right? And suddenly you can look at it completely fresh, and a solution just pops up. And if that doesn't help, if you're stuck, then just think about complete sort of radical left turns. With writing, it's like, okay, what if my character doesn't go through the store, but what if they get hit by a car? And the same thing applies to any sort of creative project. I think it's not just writing. Think about radical departures from what you had planned, and even if those paths don't lead anywhere, at least that then confirms to you that you are on the right path, and you just got to work through it. But yeah, to me, honestly, stepping away, hot showers, runs, that's what usually does it.
Yeah, I had a meeting last week where someone said that they had this really big breakthrough in the shower, early that morning, and So I made sure to schedule more showers for this person, because you're right. I think the more that you disengage, the more that it's kind of like focusing on something too much. Like the more that you disarm yourself, it's actually allowing your brain to think, opposed to trying to force the thought out.